Ziznei, Zimbabwe, thank you so much for listening to this radio. And wow, it's 15th of September. It will be Christmas very soon, I'm told now. Hey, I need to start buying those dreaded presents for the year. Anyhow, we've got some serious issues that we want to talk about here today. So we're gonna get into it straight away. Right, Chief Sosei, Masquera thing.
Masquera DJ.
Yes, how are you today?
Zimbabwe.
How are you today?
How are you, Sally?
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Okay, I'm good.
Good. Right. Sally, how are you in South Africa there?
We okay. We alright.
Yeah, you're surviving.
Yeah, South Africa it's coming summer now, so it's getting a little bit hot. Zuma and Malema are trying to kill each other.
Yes.
Yeah, but we alright.
You're alright. I can see you're still
Zimbabweans.
You're still surviving, yeah.
We have to. What can you do?
Really, there's nothing.
I'm a Zimbabwean. We don't die easy, huh?
Yeah, you survive.
Yeah, we survive.
Yeah,
Come on. How many of us have survived Mugabe? Okay.
Right. Okay.
Surviving Zuma and Malema is nothing.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
I want to say congratulations to the people in Zimbabwe. The guy from Jamuka that got promised.
Yeah, promise Mukwananzi, yes.
Yes, got him free. Please, you guys, work on getting Linda free now.
Right.
Things are really bad for her.
Yeah.
Good evening,
The European Union has issued a statement saying they must free her as soon as possible. So I'm sure the pressure is get on.
European Union are a bunch of toothless bulldogs. The same as SADC, the same as anywhere else. Because our dearest darling fossilized leader does not take any notice. And when these places put pressure on him, he kills more people.
Right.
So, seriously, the people of Zimbabwe must put pressure on him. Not the EU, not nobody. Just them.
Okay. Right. Okay, thank you so much. Mukoma Elliot, welcome to the show.
Thank you, DJ Sodza. Makadi Muriye Zimbabwe kumati mana inyika kwa muri kwese. Sally, good evening, Chief Soswe. Quick one. Tiripo. Sally, I want to vehemently differ with you.
I know.
For your own information, Mugabe would want the outside world and Zimbabweans to think he has got all the bravado. But the reality on the ground is that he is a Mickey Mouse, very afraid of the international community.
Do you know what?
Yes.
Elliot, if he was so afraid of the international community, years ago when the international community tried to rope him in and control him and wind his neck in, what happened? The people of Zimbabwe suffered. I will never agree to anything. The sanctions, those were the most stupid things that were ever put on in the whole world because he used them as a soapbox. He used it to what? Loot the country dry.
Right.
It never stopped him traveling and spending money.
Okay.
In Dubai, in Singapore.
Okay.
So I don't.
DJ.
Yes. Okay. No. Okay. Thank you so much. I think we have to move on here. And regarding the ISO, first of all, let me start with Chief Sose. Chief Sose, there is something which is going to be happening in America there from the 17th to the 21st. What is it going on there?
regaende pandatonyazotaura ndonyaya ndatomirira pano.
I know.
Airport Israel. Right.
Yeah.
Right now is Mchandiregera. I'll be speaking in Shona as well because I'm still out of Anaka.
You at the airport now?
I'm on my way to New York.
Okay.
Right. I'm on my way to New York for those demonstrations. And this is how serious it is. If I was driving, it was going to take me 26 hours to drive to New York. But I'm flying, it's taking me 6 hours. So I'm in between flights right now. So yes, we are having the mother of all demonstrations in New York starting on Saturday on the 17th. And they will go on until Mugabe comes on the 21st. And then the demonstrations, like you said, they'll be there for 5 days. Saka pane zviri kuitika zvandoda kuti mhuri yeZimbabwe izive ende zviri kuitwa nemukuru wedu wenyika. Tine information intelligence iri kuuya iri kutaura kuti pane vanhu vavo vakasvika ivo maCIO aya vakanotsvagana nemablack Americans ari kuno. Gurupu remablack Americans tinoriziva riri kuno rinopota richisapota Mugabe nenyaya dzekutora land. Saka hanzi vari kuuyawo vakapiwa mari dzekumwa doro nechii zvese nekuisa muhomwe. Vari kuuya vachiitawo ma-counter protests patinenge tichiprotesta isusu because vakatoudzwa kunzi kunenge kwakaipa because we are expecting about 2,000 Zimbabweans to come for those 5 days, each of those 5 days. Saka ndiri kuudza mhuri yeZimbabwe kuti kana mazoona kwaita hondo kuno vanhu varovana vanhu vaita sei ndofunga tingatorohwa tisu nekuti isusu we are calling for a peaceful demonstration and we will try to be as peaceful as possible. But this is what we have, the information we have just received. But we are ready. We are not going to retreat. Hanzi hatidzore tsvimbo nekuti kudora vhara kumeso. Ticharamba tiriko, ticharamba tiratidzira sekuronga kwatakaita. Kune zvinenge zvichiitika ikoko zvakawanda ma-meetings achaitika ikoko. Pandinodzoka next week ndinenge ndichikuzivisai kuti zviri kufamba sei. And then ndikeni pandatora mukana uno ndisati ndaenda kuti ndiudze futi mhuri yeZimbabwe kuti another mother of all demonstrations is going on from the 17th on the 17th kuZimbabwe. Takatonyora pamaflyer pedu kuti hatichada mafanizi. All constituencies pauri ipapo zviri kureva kuti ma-demonstrations ari kuitika kuZimbabwe ari kuitika nyika yese. Ivo vakati vakatora matiyegasi nechii nedzimotikari nechii kubva kunana Bhuruwayo vakaendesa kuHarare vachifungidzira kuti tinenge tichiita maHarare chete, asi tikutaura isu kuti zviri kuitika nyika yese pararira pauri ipapo ma-constituencies ese ekuti mhuri yeZimbabwe handei musi wa17 tinoratidzira kodzero yedu. Thank you.
Aha, aiwa, ndinotenda chose. Saka kune vamwe vari kuAmerica ikoko vari kuda kuuyawo kubatsirai in your demonstration. Where are you guys meeting there in New York? Isusu hatikuzivi ku New York ikoko, maybe mukataura nelanguage dzenyu ikoko vari ikoko vanokwanisa kusvika vanoziva kuti ndepapi pacho chaipo pavanokwanisa kuti vasvike.
Tinenge tiri pa-United Nations ndopatinenge tichiratidzira tiri, asi regai ndinyatsovapa adresi chaiyo chaiyo kuti varikuda kuuya vanosvikira papi. Asi muSaturday tiri kutanga makuseni chaiwo na10 o'clock kusvika zuva rese tinenge tirimo tichiratidzira. But day 1 tinenge tiri hanzi Meet the Zimbabwe UN Permanent Mission Office pana 56 na Lexington. 56 na Lexington ndipo pa United Nations Permanent Mission Offices. Tinenge tanga na 10 o'clock totarisira kupedza kuma5. Saka zuva rese tinenge tiripo. And then day 2 ya Sunday takaita kuti ite prayer day kureva kuti tinenge chinamatira mhuri yeZimbabwe, tinenge chinamatira nyika yedu yeZimbabwe, chinamatira iwo analinda nevamwe vose vachiri vari mumajeri, tichitendawo Mwari nekuburitsa kwakaita mukwananzi, Prosper Mukwananzi. Saka day 2 Sunday izuva rekunamata. And then day 3 we meet at the Zimbabwe United Nations Permanent Mission Offices, Shakari, pana 56 na Lexington. Nguva idzodzo dzimwe chete 10 o'clock kusvika this time inenge iri 3 o'clock topedza na 3 o'clock. Again dzokorera address Shakari 56 and Lexington pa United Nations. Day 4 we meet at the same place again 10 o'clock kusvika na 3 o'clock. And then day 5 ndopane kamusiyano mbichana tinenge taakuenda we meet at the Dag Hamsik George Plaza United Nations 47th and 2nd Avenue. Apa totanga mangwanani 8 o'clock kusvika na 1 o'clock. 8 o'clock kusvika na 1 o'clock. Vari kuda matrain information munokwira matrains 4, 5, 6 anenge achienda ku Grand Central. Trains information 4, 5, 6 ari kuenda ku Grand Central. Saka ndo zvatinenge tichiita 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Tirimo muNew York maZimbabweans ese uyai tisangane ikoko.
Mashoko akanaka chose. Handisi kuziva kuti chief svosve mungada kutiudza here kuti mimi handisi kuziva kuti makaronga sei mune schedule here yekuti vaMugabe vachanga vachitaura nguwai, and what do you intend to do to get his attention of what you are doing there?
We are told, we are not privy to much of the information, but we are told that he is going to speak on the 21st, so that's where one of the biggest demonstrations is going to be held. We expect Saturday to be big, but the 21st will actually be much bigger. So patinenge tichita noise vachisvika tiripo ipapo tichiratidza vanhu vese kuti vakuru ava nguva yavo yakwana, and zvavari kuita hazvienderana nezvavanenge vachitaura varimo muUnited Nations. Saka ndo patiri kutarisira kuti pane zvichaitika ipapo musi wa21. Kana ivo vatiri kutaura vemuno ava vari kunzi vanenge varipo in full force vachioposa sezvatinenge tichiita. Saka tichaona kuti zvinenge zvakamira sei. Asi tinovimbisa mhuri yeZimbabwe kuti isusu will remain as peaceful as possible.
Aiwa. Ndinotenda zvikuru chief svosve nemashoko amatipa. Ndaona even Pastor Ivan Mawarire vanga vari kutumira messages nemavideo paFacebook apa urging all Zimbabweans there in America, especially those who live in around the area of New York, to come around and show their solidarity with people of Zimbabwe there who are not happy with the situation on the ground back home. Right. Okay. Right. Vanenge vakupinda mundege mawawa. Right. Okay. Vapepe.
Yes.
I know mazvinzwa zvazviri kutaurwa izvi. We wish them luck there in America, and I'm sure people will be supporting even vari kure kwavari ikoko vachisupportawo the demonstration that is happening there. Sally, you are for this demonstration. You think it's worthwhile?
Oh, I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I like that they're coordinating one in Zimbabwe as well. That is so important. But I love the idea of it, and my blessings and my prayers go to them. And thank you.
Thank you so much.
I support all these demonstrations.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, Sally said you support these demonstrations. Whatever little it takes, the little it is, you never know where it gets. At least it's keeping the news in the limelight. At least they are not happy with the situation. Right. Vapebe, you started a project last week. This girl who has got skin cancer. How far have you got any more information? Are people helping?
Yeah, thank you, DJ Sodza. First, I want to thank Zimbabweans. It seems they are responding positively. In the name of figures, because we have been exchanging my figures, my parents. There are two depositories for the donation. One here, EcoCash, which is also linked to the video, and the other one is GoFundMe. Some of you have accessed my Facebook. You could have seen the video.
Okay, sorry, Wafefe. I know kuti takaitaura nyaya yacho last week, so I just want to give you 5 minutes because this is of great cause, and I applaud you for what you're doing. But kuna wamwe wana wakateerera now who were not here last week, who might want to know just in brief, what actually are you doing?
Yeah, right. Zimbabweans, I've been approached to coordinate fundraising activities. Yokuti tibetsere Bridget Mandimutsira is a 7-year girl and a multiple skin cancer. So far, she had 26 operations from South Africa. Now the hospital, they've now said the operations, they can't have any further operations. So then she needs to go to specialized operations. And my parents actually were going to end in one to USA for specialized treatment. But both parents are not working. So hence they are appealing to Zimbabweans out there to help them. Now what we've done is we made a video where the mother my challenges which she faces on a daily basis. Now Bridget, if you want the details, you can also go on my Facebook, or I think DJ Mnogana Kupa my videos.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah, but in summary, these are the challenges. So we are actually racing against time in the sense you could see one of the eye now Arichaona Rewan Bridget has been affected. So Akona one. The other one, Rachel Sarah, is being affected gradually as well. So the condition is getting worse. So we need urgently Tibet Bridget. Now, back to the figures that since I did the coordination, what we have managed to raise from you Zimbabweans. On EcoCash by yesterday, it was $2,830. On GoFundMe, £430. So those are the figures that we have. And we are looking at around 10,000 US dollars for the first leg. So this is where we are.
Absolutely.
And those who have not given, who have not donated, who actually do the right thing and help this little girl.
Aiwa. Ndatenda zvangu ni mashoko akanaka chose vapeve amuri kuita, and thank you so much for that. God bless you. Mkoma Tichi, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mkoma Sodza.
How is London today?
It's alright, a bit cool.
Right.
It's hot all day long, so it's okay.
Commiseration, your team lost to Manchester City the other day and lost again today to Feyenoord there.
Which is my team now?
Oh, sorry, Babangu Chiradiwe. Goma Tishi Masera. At least I got you there. Thank you so much for joining us. Mkoma Tichi, nyaya ndinayo panapa tine nyaya dzakati kuti, but ngatingoti yatatanga tutiga kana tapedza toenda paneri pamberi. You heard what this budget that they are trying to implement now in Zimbabwe, the mid-term budget that they want to cut the civil servant salaries and no bonuses as well now, and all that. Well, what do you make of these, things that are going to be happening in Zimbabwe. I mean, last time the president come up and they were paid. Do you think they are going to? This is just, I mean, a way of testing people. Kanakuti, it's a reality that they are going to cut people's salaries.
I just wanted to clarify on that quickly.
Yeah, I mean, not mungakwanise kuti taurise bichana ere tiri kunzwa, but we need you to mutaure bichana a bit more, a bit louder. Yes.
Ndanyatouya pamicrophone pacho paTuesday tiseche.
Atakunzwa manje.
Right. Ndachirega clarify a little bit about nyaya demonstrations that will continue here and what is the impact given Maband.
Okay.
It is very critical for all the people, especially our listeners and the Zimbabweans in general, to understand very clearly that these demonstrations are not anti-government demonstrations. They are actually pro-a-government commission called ZEC to give it its due constitutional independence. These demonstrations are in support of an arm of government, which is the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, to exercise its freedom for a level playing field in the electoral process. So these are not anti-government demonstrations, neither are they terrorist or Western sponsored, because they are demonstrations in support of ZEC's total independence and ability to deliver a credible election. That's what his NERA is about. I think there's been a lot of misrepresentation or diversion by ZANU-PF to make people in NERA start having to defend themselves. There's nothing to defend ourselves against. These demonstrations are all petitioning the Constitution in support of a constitutional body, ZEC, to do its job independently without interference by the ruling party or any other arms of government or anyone else, including NGOs or opposition political parties, just to do its job constitutionally to ensure that as ZEC they deliver a credible election. That's what these demonstrations are. Let nobody try to misrepresent that with all these bannings that are coming. And in effect, what the government is doing is banning support for a part of the government system of our country. As such, is undermining the Constitution and should be legally challenged by defiance, by making sure that we are saying we are on the right path of the main law of the country, which is the Constitution, which calls upon each and every citizen to exercise their rights and responsibilities to uphold the constitutional provisions of all independent commissions. And people should be right now even demonstrating in favor of the anti-corruption commission. All these commissions are constituted to become equal. That's all we are doing. I'm sorry I took a bit more time than I had because I'm passionate about that.
Right. Yeah, okay. I don't know what's happening there. When you are speaking. Say that again. Yeah, right, man.
I don't know what is happening, but I'm trying my best to speak right into the microphone. Anyway, talking about the policy pronouncements that are completely conflicting between cabinet members, it's not the first time. We know that on digitalization, Chinamasa in the last budget of 2015 made such an announcement only for Joao to come up with correction in state media in the Sunday Mail and the Herald. And then again later at the end of the year, he made certain announcements again regarding bonuses, etc. And the president shot that down and was corrected again in the Herald. Now we have another situation again where his medium-term budget review is faced with the same fate, where he has made grand announcements only for his cabinet colleagues to come out and say, no, that's not the case, it's not a cabinet position, neither has it been approved, neither is it legally binding to anybody. People are going to get their bonuses, etc. Now, what we need to all understand is that as the Minister of Finance, Patrick Chinamasa, is the chief principal of the re-engagement program with the Bretton Woods institution and other Western donors and the budget support organizations or governments. And some of the things that he is expected to do is to rationalize government expenditure against government revenues. So if there is a big mismatch in government revenues and government expenditure, it means whatever aid or assistance that comes, either in terms of a loan or grant or NGO humanitarian assistance, will be swallowed by the wage bill because we are living in an unsustainable budget environment. So when Chinamasa speaks, I more than anything else sympathize. But if I were him, being third time like as has happened, I would resign. This is when a person will say it's untenable. It's the reason why people like Simbamakone resigned, because their budget proposals will be accepted and then denied when they are coming at implementation stage, because President Mugabe wants to maintain a populist stance of pretending he can give people what he does not have. Yet he is traveling all over the world at the moment, chewing a huge chunk of the budget. So at this point in time, as Zimbabwe, we need to appreciate that when Apple presented their annual results, it decides how the markets react. When the Bank of England or any central bank in the country announces their interest rate ratios, etc., it means that the market will react to that. Actually, markets wait in perturbation as to what is going to be announced. When the Chinese government makes an announcement about its trade balance and economic growth, the whole world is waiting because everyone is invested in the manufacturing of China as the world's manufacturing hub. That affects the value of all the currencies of those countries immediately, or the share prices of the companies on the bourses of the various exchanges. Now, if Zimbabwe is going to have such pronouncements on an interim budget review by none other than the Minister of Finance himself, who is engaged with the international community in a engagement process, only for his colleagues and the president to come back and say, no, that is not the case. That just is undermining yourself. ZANU can say, hey, they are puppets of the West, etc. There is nothing worse than what they've just done for the third time. There's nothing worse than that in terms of investor perception. No one is going to come to such an uncertain environment where you don't know what is going to happen next. Right now, you've got the governor of the Reserve Bank saying that if the bond notes don't work, he will resign. What good will that do to people who will have lost their money? When they resign those states, does it matter to me who has lost my US dollars and been given useless bond notes as hyperinflation? Right now, we've got a situation whereby international correspondent banks that facilitate the international payment of Zimbabwe's imports and exports are withdrawing from their relationships with Zimbabwe banks because of the toxic environment where Treasury and the Reserve Bank are unable to manage the situation. So they can't be in a situation where there is uncertainty, where they may end up being told that your money has been swallowed by this, that, and the other. Right now, you've got a situation whereby banks can't keep a lot of large cash in their vaults. So when they have lots of large cash, they pass them on to the Reserve Bank, from whom they must be able to draw as and when they want to service their own clients. Right now, you have a situation where the Reserve Bank is unable to service our local banks with cash. That's what is happening. It's not the banks themselves that have lost our money. The money has been passed within the banking system to the Reserve Bank, where it's supposed to be able to be withdrawn whenever the banks need it to service the consumers. their clients. So the government is spending money that we are saving as people, the money that we are depositing into banks. The government is latching onto that money because it will generate enough revenue in terms of taxes to meet its own ballooned civil service. So this is the situation, that the implications of what that means.
Okay, right. Okay, thank you so much, Mukuma Teach there. Regai Timbo Noa Damaremvura. We'll be back after 1 minute.
Make the whole world know about your business. Advertise with Zimnet Radio. Email marketing@zimnetradio.com.
Zimnet Radio, the people's internet radio station with the people's favorite DJs. Stay tuned.
Zvisinei mhuri yeZimbabwe ndizvo zvinoita. Thank you so much for tuning in there and choosing Zimnet Radio. Zita rangu ndinonzi DJ Sodza, ndiri kuno kuHamberside muUnited Kingdom. Mukoma Wilbert, maswera sei?
Hello everybody.
Aha, thank you so much. Sekuru, maswera sei kuBirmingham uko?
Maswera hangu zikuru, maswera sei uko?
Taswera kana maswerawo. Right.
Takanaka.
Aiwa pachene, right. Batai zvenyu makadaro. Ndiri kuuya kwamuri manje mukoma Wilbert nasekuru apo. Ndiri kuenda kuna vapebve next. Vapebve nyaya yana Chinamasa. This is like a school place kuti Chinamasa anobuda achitaurira vanhu kuti this is what we have agreed. And then some of his cabinet ministers obuda otaura kuti actually it's wrong and all that. It's getting beyond a joke now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it did. Personally, I'm not surprised, and from an MDC perspective, we are not surprised. This is what ZANU-PF wants the people of Zimbabwe to believe, that the government is ZANU-PF and ZANU-PF is the government. You find that, of course, poor Chinamasa was trying to deliver a government point of view. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that in a ZANU-PF government. And ZANU-PF would want to the ZANU-PF political bureau controls everything, and this is why you've got this policy inconsistent. And the current scenario that we have in Zimbabwe is basically because of policy inconsistent, and there is nothing that destroys any economy more than policy inconsistent. Because if you look at the foreign direct investment, no investor would just arbitrarily invest in a country without weighing risks. And things like inconsistent of policies, whereby today the government is saying something else, the president is saying something else, the cabinet is saying something else, the ruling party is saying something else, it means there is a risk for any investment in that particular country. Now, I just want to give you a very good example of how goodwill works in terms of running a country. I think people of Zimbabwe will recall that during the government of national unity, the government of national unity was able to stabilize the economy, was able to sustain wage bills, but all that, and then we were also able to attract inflows in terms of investment in the country in the short term, that with the government of national unity. And all that, it was because of the goodwill of the parties in government, not the goodwill of ZANU-PF, mind you, the goodwill of MDC in power, in parliament, in government. So here we are. Poor Chinamasa is trying to engage the international community. Because of course, looking east hasn't worked. Chinese want to give you money. They would engage in a barter trade. That's the business that they understand very well. But the Zimbabwe climate, economic climate at the moment, does not require barter trade. It needs infrastructure capital investment, where we can revamp infrastructure, where we can inject investment to create employment, which 2.2 million ZANU-PF promised and they can deliver. So we are not surprised as MDC, and I'm not surprised, and nemazuva ekupedzisira kuchava kunge kuchita kugeda kwemeno. This is what we are seeing. This is the end of the ZANU-PF era.
Right. Sorry, Wapepe, there's someone who asked me when they were, in fact, they texted me and they say, DJ Sodza, what are you talking about today? And I told them it's this budget, and also they're highlighting that these civil servants, their salaries are going to be cut and the bonuses. Someone was saying illegally. Are they allowed to do that?
Well, in terms of cutting the salaries and pay.
Yeah.
Well, yes, no. Yes, in the sense that it is possible if the government doesn't have the capital, the liquidity to meet their salary obligations in the long run. Yes, they can come up with provision effect. Now, in the sense that they will have to go back to the cabinet, and the cabinet has to approve, and so is the parliament, which can be a challenge. It is possible, yes. Okay. It's not a one ministerial pronunciation like what we are seeing with Chinamasa. Mm-hmm. Of course, Chinamasa was tabling proposal, which is good, which is within his mandate to propose to put a proposal.
Yeah.
And then the parliament will then look at the proposal, the cabinet, and then see whether they can endorse it, they can support it. But the government has no option. The current scenario is not tenable. 90% of the annual budget going to civil servant pay bill. Nowhere in the world has that happened, and it's not sustainable at all.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Wapepe. Zimbabwe. Yes.
I just wanted to add Vanessa.
Yeah, in terms here, the legality of
civil servants running block contracts. Civil servants running block contracts in terms of my grades. So government can change my remuneration now, but it is also subject, as Nkoma Fefe alluded, to parliamentary approval and gazetting.
Okay. Yeah, true. Yes.
Yeah. So in those situations, so the government can change the salary. It can actually cut, especially given the compelling reasons it's negative, like the budget deficit at the moment, or the under collection of revenues, or that the revenues are just simply not in sync with what the government is paying out. So the government has to rationalize that, and they can legally do that. There are steps to take, but they can do that.
Okay, right. Okay, thank you so much, Mukoma Wilbert.
Hello.
Yes, Mukoma Wilbert, nyaya muri kuinzwa iri mudarirei. What's your take on this zviri kutaurwa izvi? What I personally don't understand semunhu asikateedzeri hake zvepolitics. In fact ndinongoerengawo ndichinzwawo kwamuri muchikurukura kudai, but munhu anganzi obuda wataura kuti ndo zvataproposa mugovernment, then mumwe mugovernment vacho obuda wataura kuti ari kunyepa, ari kudi. Really, should people be trusting these people, you know, when they've got these conflicting messages coming through?
I think what we have got to remember here is this is a government. It's like a pack of hyenas. We can't start picking which one is the better hyena than the other. They are all bad. Take, for instance, Chinamasa himself. If you look at his budget review, one of the things that he said is regarding the diamonds. He is saying, well, a couple of months ago, he said they were reorganizing the whole industry to make sure that what he told BBC Hard Talk, the mispricing of the price of the diamonds would not happen again. That was his explanation. He was denying that there was no looting in that industry. The $15 billion was just mispricing, which is, of course, lying. In this particular case, he has turned around now in his budget review and saying, well, the expected production to be 6 million carats of diamonds. They failed to produce even 1 million. In other words, the corruption is still going on. And he is trying to cover up for it. We are dealing here with a totally dishonest person, and for him to be saying one thing and his colleagues telling him, no, you're lying. To me, it's just another hyena barking at another hyena. You know, this is a government that is corrupt to the core, and none of them are worth the salt. Nobody can defend them. Even if they had agreed with this, who would seriously believe Chinamasa to say that no, they're having they're failing to do production of the diamonds. That's why they are only producing less than 1 million carats when they expect 6 million, 6 times as much. All he is saying there is the corruption is still going on. Who would want to invest in a country where you loot $15 billion and nobody's arrested? Nobody. Mugabe himself admitted that in March, and now we are in September, and nobody, absolutely no one has ever been arrested for such a serious crime. The reality of it is this regime is collapsing, and they can do all the patchwork they want. It's not going to help. The regime is collapsing. Nobody's going to bail them out because it's just too corrupt. And that's the reality we've got to deal with. The violence that we are talking about with demonstrations and so forth. This is a regime that is desperately trying to hang on to power by using violence. But the reality is the economic situation is the one that is driving people onto the streets. When you have got unemployment rate of 80% plus, and it's been going on for decades now. Some people are now 35 years old, and they have never held in their life, their working life, a formal job. This is devastating. Those people are really angry now, and the situation is making them so angry that they're prepared to face the tear gas and all the beating and so forth. This regime is going to collapse, whether they like it or not. They cannot stop the tide coming in. That is the truth.
Aha, aiwa. Mashoko akanaka chaizvo Mukoma Wilbert. Thank you so much. Sekuru.
Ewa mzukuru wangu.
Mazvinzwa akazvaburiswa navachinamasa izvi kunzi takuda kukata civil servants mari and mabonus, they can kiss goodbye to that because we don't have money. Then we find with some of his colleagues in the cabinet come out and say, everything is under control, people are going to get their bonuses and they are going to get their full salaries. Who should we believe? Okay.
Saka pakati anoda kukata manhingikiri positions civil service nokugadzirisa kuti mari iite iyeke civil service bill iite shoma
kudzikisiwa.
Ndakatoti nini muchina masari kuti government is planning to increase my salaries in my civil service and then to increase the ghost workers. Those are the kind of things. And then they do right because I'm sure Agavato we are hakuna zvakadaro zvinoitika. Ndo zvinongoitika muhurumende yeZANU. Now, ndakateerera muzukuru wangu ticha achitsoropodza kuti hurumende iyi haizi hurumende inokutevedzera because iri kuzviisa masanctions pachayo yega by failing to be consistent. Pevende kutsimidzira hurumende ndokuwedzera futi ipapo. Ndingangoti zvavari kutaura zviri correct kudarika zvimwe zvese zvinotaurwa neZANU kuti chakati chikati. If you listen to the ZANU, the political party, and the ZANU, the government, if you listen to them, they will never agree. But ukateera zvinobva kuZANU, the political party, that is the correct position of the government. Because munyika medu government is political party iyoyo. Vamwe vese ava civil servants and whatever and whatnot vasiri muparty iyoyo as government, they are just there to make up the numbers. So in as far as I'm concerned, I'm not surprised kuti pane policy inconsistencies because takagara ndazviona kuti policy inconsistencies acho anga aripo kubva kare. All that has happened is nekutambura kwavo kwokutadza kuziva kuti toita zvipi. They are now at each other's throat, which is quite interesting because kana ukaona makava achirwira nyama inenge ichingoapo yakamugara and iwo achirumana oshaya kuti kwadiko kungobvambura nyama yacho achiti imwe ichikakata enda nkoko imwe ichikakata neiwe yodya. They can't just do that because they anenge ane nyama yacho anoda yese kuti vamwe vese vasarya saka anotoruma vamwe. So I'm not surprised kana mushowi achitoda kuruma chinamasa because ane nyama yacho. Mugabe kana achitoda kuruma chinamasa because ane nyama yacho. I'm not surprised at all. All I'm saying is hurumende yeZANU haina any idea of what is happening kuvanhu. Any idea of how to keep the proceeds of the economy to themselves. That is the idea they have. Saka all these inconsistencies, musava surprised. Inanimbo surprised. And there's reason this regime is going to collapse because of this inconsistency. This has been the norm from 1980 up to now. Apana chinhu chaimbowirira muZANU. Ingori dictatorship chete. There is one person unongoti ita izvozvo. And then things just go. But inertia manje ave shoma saka movement yakunetsa. So problem ndeyekuti vanhu vakura mu-independence vakuti independence yachogotaura ndeyeiko hatina independence because we can't work, we can't do anything, we can't look after ourselves. And the dependency syndrome on the government because ndo zvoda ZANU kuti vanhu vadepend on it. Nokuputira Mugabe says ndiye solver of all problems. They created these situations to build a reputation ya Mugabe because hachina reputation. So don't be surprised that they will trudge on like that and we will be suffering like that.
Okay. Aiwa, sekuru, ndatenda chose. Ndisaite zvinoita kuita bias kuti ndidzokere futi kuna mukomatichi kuna wapfibvi kuti watange. Ndakutangira pamuri mimi sekuru. Second issue we want to talk about. But tisatadaro gaiti daiso. Akuchiradiyo sekuru zvakaoma. Ku Australia uko mamuka seigo.
Aiwa tamuka. Makwera seigo.
Aiwa tiri kuchingamidza iri mufaro wamoyo. Mama kateerera iri kuchirongwa.
Wongo ndanga ndakateerera hangu.
Munoti kudiko imi ne budget yatakanzi budget review vachina masa vachitiwo aiwa tiri kuda kuti isusu tipropose kuti masalaries emacivil servants akamurwe ende mabonus avo asapuhwe, then toona maministers akubuda muimo machiti akuenda kunana Herald and all that vachitaura kuti aiwa china masa ndiye ari kutorota uya, aiwa hapana kana chichambochinja, vanhu vamuchapuhwa mari dzavo sekupiwa kwavanga vachingodziita idzodzo. Who should do Zimbabweans believe?
I think people just need to understand that the government inoshanda sei. When the Minister of Finance makes his pronouncements, by nature, those are not the final position. They are a proposal. And the correct procedure is, after he has made his proposals, then the proposal is supposed to be debated in Parliament, and then either approved or shut down. That is supposed to be the correct procedure. And this is the same procedure that is being followed. When he makes those statements, it's not a final position. Otherwise, if it was a final position, he could simply have implemented that without even making that proposal in Parliament. So he will have done his own research and come up with his own position. And after having done that, then he goes to make a presentation. And that presentation, like I said before, it is a proposal, not the final position, which is subject to approval. So if something is subject to approval, yes, it can be approved or it can be disapproved. And I don't see anything strange or wrong in this, because this is normal everywhere, and this is what happens. Unlike the pronouncements by the Reserve Bank, when they say we are cutting rates, or we are increasing the interest rates, or we are decreasing the interest rates, that is the final position. But the pronouncement by the Minister of Finance, when he makes that statement, it is a proposal which is open to debate, and there should be a time when it is either approved or disapproved. So that it was disapproved, a particular statement was disapproved.
Okay.
See what persuading people there.
Right. Okay, no, that's fine. Ndiri kunzwa muri kutsarangudza zvakanaka vamoyo, but what I'm saying is, kana ndiri mumba munomu nemudzimai neana nechinyi, you see, ndikabuda panze ndichitaura kuti actually inini I'm proposing kuti tindotenge imba kune imwe city and all that and we move away from here, then mukadzi wangu obuda wati haiwa ari kutaura rabishi uyu hatisi kuita izvozvo. I know kuti there's something going on there. Why don't you just mukadzi wangu anoregeko kunyarara kusvika taita propose yedu iyoyo, tagara pasi taita vhoti, kana iri vhoti inoda kuitwa, kuti azo-oppose zvandinenge ndataura inini sehead of family, rather kuti achibude kunze uko achindonanika our dirty linen kuti aiwa hazvisati zvapasiswa zvazodai. Why don't they keep quiet until such a time when a definitive answer is known, then one person can come out and say it. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, unlike a family setup where a husband and wife decide to buy a house, it's a decision that is made indoors by the two people. But when it comes to government operations, it's not like that. If it was like that, then there would be no need for the minister to make proposals, to make those announcements. You just come up with a final position and then give the final position. Governments do not operate like a family type of operations, because it only affects two people. Where you buy the house, how much you buy it for, it affects you and your wife and your children only. But when it comes to budget pronouncements, these affect the whole nation, and therefore there is need for involvement of other stakeholders, other than even the cabinet itself, other than even parliament itself. This is the reason why it has to come out and proposals to be made and then be debated.
Okay.
Mukoma moyo ndinotenda zvikuru netsananguro yenyu yamapa mheno kuti munoiwanei, but inini I will tell you officially, I'm saying this ndakatotsika pfuti. Zimbabwe budget process starts with the drafting and input from the various line ministries on their own departments, and various other departments make their budget proposal, which are then sent to the Ministry of Finance, which collects them and prioritizes on the basis of expected revenues. When they have done that, this budget is then presented to the Cabinet Committee on Economics, which is chaired by the President. That budget, Cabinet Committee on Economics sits as the executive and agrees this budget proposal from the Ministry of Finance. It is then, only then, after it has been approved in Cabinet, that is, it is publicly announced. And with all the rationalization that will have taken place in terms of prioritization based on expected revenues, expected loans and aid program money that may be coming in, all factored in. And the executive committee in Cabinet, chaired by the President, sits there and approves this budget before it's adopted by the whole Cabinet. Only then will the Minister of Finance make an announcement and take it and concretize it and make the allocations to the various departments, ministries, etc. And that is when he announces it in Parliament for adoption.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to say. Kuti semunhu anenge asiriwe zvinotishamisa kuti okay.
That's not what was happening right now. The budget was already approved by the executive, and it was the functioning budget. This was a medium-term review. So it's no longer about how the government functions or how the budget or how the government processes the budget system. The processing of the budget in Zimbabwe is a legislative process with written down procedures, which starts from drafting to legislative to implementation and to audit. It's actually written down. If you care to look at Parliament, you'll find that it's there. It's in black and white. There's no mumbo jumbo about anyone knowing or not knowing. It's in black and white. It's law. So the issue of Chinamasa making conflicting announcement is secondary to the fact that the budget had already been adopted. It is the operational budget. And his medium term is based on the review of government revenues versus expenditure. And he was rationalizing as he is expected to do. And he would not just rationalize it willy-nilly and bring it to Parliament before the executive has sat down and agreed. Because it's a different arm of government to Parliament. The executive arm agrees these things and takes it to Parliament through the Minister of Finance. There is a serious conflict in this announcement that has a serious impact on the way we are viewed in terms of our economy and the interests of any external investors or other funders or people that have a humanitarian interest in helping us. That is the simple fact. It cannot be minimized.
Okay. Vamoyo, you want to respond to that?
His line was breaking badly. I just heard bits and pieces of it. Where he is saying this should have already been approved by cabinet, I think. So if it has already been approved by cabinet, then why would he then make proposals? And why then would cabinet now turn around and disapprove of what it has already approved?
Because Parliament is to ratify the proposal.
No, Mr. Moyo, before you become an authority on this, mungatiudza here kuti makambosevenza muhurumende here ende mamuri kudepartment ripi?
I have never claimed to be an authority on anything. In fact,
no. You said people must understand working here budgetary system of Zimbabwe. So you were talking like an authority. So isusu toda kuzwa kuti makambosevenza here muhurumende kana makasevenza muhurumende motiudza mamuri kudepartment ripi? Because inini ndakasevenza ku Ministry of Construction, ndikasevenza ku Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare, ndiri ku Department Human Resources Management. Saka sezvandataura ndoda kuziva kuti mimi muri kubva nedivi ripi?
Inini handinambovira namboshanda mugovernment and handinambovira namboita any
chinyararai zvekuti udzai kuti tinzwisise nyaya yebudget, because zvataurwa naticha about the budgeting process in government ndo zviri mumatreasury instructions. Okay. Izvi zvamuri kutaurira zvenyu zvokufunga zvenyu zvokuchenjeresa kaizvi siyanai nazvo. Chinamasa anotaura achiti iye ndoda kutekisa vanhu vekudiaspora. Munoziva here kuti ini ndakasenza mu-account section inonzi double taxation zvorevei?
Sekuru maakuda kutora topic yangu yandoda kubvunza next sezveni.
No, munhu kana akatitaurira zvinhu zvatinoziva neprocess dzacho nemaitirwo azvo achida kuita senhunhu ndiye anozviziva then we have a problem with that.
Right. Okay. Sekuru, regai tipinde muchitoro first. We'll be back nenyaya yenyu yekuda kutekisa madiasporans iyoyi. I want to ask you about
this is a disclaimer. The opinions expressed by contributors during radio call-in shows are solely those of the individual callers and do not reflect the opinions of Zimnet Radio, DJs, presenters, managers or administration. Listeners are encouraged and advised to seek the services of qualified professionals for their personal problems.
In touch with the best online station, Zimnet Radio.
Are you struggling to make it happen? It pays to advertise with Zimbabwe's #1 internet radio station. You can never go wrong with Zimnet Radio. Send an email today to marketing@zimnetradio.com.
Hey! King Max from the jungle!
Vasikati vanenge vachingosina mukangopfuura vanotanga kutozemena, paita mbiri ndo pavanomema, paita munhu waMwari ndo pavanosema, havana zororo vana valusifa, havana zororo vana valusifa, havana zororo vana valasitani, havana zororo vana valusifa, vanopururudza kana munhu achifa, vanofara pazvinongodzi zvafa, usiku nesikati vanenge vachikugofa, havana zororo vana valusifa, vanopururudza kana munhu achifa, vanofara pazvinongodzi zvafa. zvapa usiku nesikati vanenge vachikukopa vamwe havazi kurara nemadzikirira vakanga vaine mwiri izvozvi vatodzikira akakupotsa anotoridza tsamwa kurara chikurongera semombe inokamwa vanongoroya pasina benefiti ukaita zvakanaka vanoti hazviiti havamborara vachiita mapipi chavo kungokushungurudza vobuda voenda vavanozururu vana vaisipa vanopururudza kana munhu achifa vanofara pazvinongodzi zvafa usiku nesikati vanenge vachikugofa vavana zururu vana vaisipa vanopururudza kana munhu achifa vanofara pazvinongodzi zvafa usiku nesikati vanenge vachikugofa inowarwadza pauri upenyu hwako kusei wazosimuka waronga tunhu twako chaari kuda chete kuuraya nyama yako anokuroya chete haatore mari yako vanotiti vakafitwa nekurarama isu vamwe tose hatikodzeri kurarama vanofara kuona tichidzungaira kuwatiwaze kuti nei azobudirira
ndo zvazvinoita zimbabwe mukoma tete nasapo kambo kanotapira kwazvo kana mashoko akadzamisisa. Right, if you are just joining us, we are on the Men's Corner show. My name is DJ Sodza Kuloko. Dinawo wadare panhare apa again. Munongo zvinzwa emifana. Right, Sekuru, you took the words out of my mouth there. I was gonna ask a simple question to you, gentlemen, online. There, Saleh sadly left because she's got problems with connection there. Amena hanzi pane munhu apaura internet iri panze what not kind of stuff like that. There is South Africa for you there. Now then, Sekuru, mataura kuti mimi we have had kuti there's this diaspora tax that they want to introduce. How is that workable?
With the ZANU-PF government, everything is workable because even if it's not
but chimbotitaurirawo in simple kuti semunhu aregere mudiaspora seni zvakadai so, what should I be scared of ndichinzwa nyaya kunzi kune diaspora tax? What is it? How are they going to tax me?
The first thing that you should be afraid of is the UK government.
Yes.
Vanokuteksa mari iwewe. And they once they have taxed you, vanokupa right to vote, vanokupa right to participate in their affairs.
Oh yes.
In Zimbabwe, vanhu vari kudiaspora havabvumidzi kuita participate in the affairs politics dzekuzimbabwe directly. Vanobvumidzwa kuita participate pa Twitter nepa Facebook, but they are not allowed to vote. Ukatarira ma-British elections kana akaitwa kuzimbabwe vanenge vachinovhota kuembasi yavo kuzimbabwe. Isusu kuno hatibvumidzi kunovhota kuembasi yedu
kuLondon.
Hatibvumidzi. The other thing they could, because your salary has already been taxed, whatever you remit to Zimbabwe, whatever you remit to your home country, is already tax free because it has been deducted already. So kana ukaitumidzira kuZimbabwe ikanosvika ikanzi pay tax futi, what that means is vakuita estimate yokuti wakatambira mari wokuteksa only an amount that has already been taxed. Now that is dual taxation. It's disproportionate to the concept of income tax, because income tax here in Zimbabwe and in Britain, it's based on a pay as you earn, the PAYE. Saka kana vakuteksa yakambotexiwa, what are they taxing on? What principle are they employing?
Now, Sekuru, regarding Yatsonzwisisana, I know a lot of people out there might be in the boat that I am in myself because I don't understand it. Ndikutumira mama wangu mari yekuti andotenge matablets, right? Every month. Ndowatumira $200. ndovatumira $200 kuti mama chendai mundotenga matabhuling yenyu echolesterol yenyu chakati yenyu aya mundotora matablets enyu. 200 iyoyo ndaitumira kuZimbabwe ndo yavari kundotekisa here vanhu.
Exactly, because there is no other way they can access your funds other than what you are remitting to Zimbabwe.
So if I send 200 vanongotekisa iyoyo, if I send $1,000 vanotekisa iyoyo, if I send 2,000 vanotekisa iyoyo, ndikatumira $1 vanotekisa iro.
They will say like zvavakamboita pane imwe tax here yainzi low level income tax. They will say a certain percentage applies to all remittances from the diaspora. You understand? Because they know it's now hitting my billions, right? So if they say 10%, that's already millions. Do you understand?
Yes.
So already they know kuti 10% flat rate tax on all remittances. We are now taxing the diaspora.
So what that means, sorry Sekuru, what that means, I know ndikutaurisa. What that means is ndikatumira mari yangu neWestern Union. Mama pavanondotora mari iyoyo vanobva vanzi instead of this 200 takuti 200 tobva tatora 10% ipapa tochikupa change yako iwewe.
So itokupa 180.
That's it.
Because imwe ndeyehurumende.
Babangu chirambiro.
That is the easiest way they can do it. And then that will discourage people from sending money home.
Absolutely.
And then it will create a problem yevanhu kuti vari kufa nenzara. But then zanopiwa zvito zvainoda kana vakufa nenzara voenda kuzanu kunopiwa mukomondera. Unomuziva ndoti mukomondera.
This is serious issue, Sekuru. Is this what they want to implement?
Yes, and if they kana vakange vadaro to understand it further, it's a political issue. If they do that, it means your mother is now short of $20.
Absolutely.
Therefore, she can no longer buy her own food because if you withhold sending her money, she can no longer buy food for herself. So she has got to join the queue for free food handouts from ZANU. Now, in so doing, she will be asked to buy a card. It's another tax. ZANU. So whichever way they are trying to get money from diasporas, it politically tuned to the fact that they want to get hold of those people who are diaspora, so that whatever they are doing now, depending on their relatives, they will stop depending on them and they will start depending on ZANU-PF, and its patronage system works on them.
So this is per transaction, Sekuru.
It will have to be per transaction because there is very limited scope of them getting an agreement, a government-to-government agreement with Britain, America, kuti vanhu vari kuAmerica toda kuti American government imutitengesere vanhu vedu pamunovabhadhara. They will just be told off.
Okay, Sekuru, really, I know ndoda kuuya kwamuri vamwe, but I'm just so interested in this. So vanoziya sei kuti munhu atumira mari iyi mwana wekuno kuZimbabwe?
It doesn't matter as long as the remittance is coming from an individual who is abroad.
Outside, yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Aiwa. Zvakaoma. Mukoma Wilbert.
Hello, sir.
Can you believe this?
I agree with Sekuru there. I mean, this ZANU-PF regime is desperate, and they would do something like that without any problem. You know, like I said, I think that is quite simple to do. You know, they just pass a law which is basically saying any remittance from outside the country is charged a commission. You know, when you go to the bank to get you the equivalent, you get a commission. But to be quite honest, actually, they have been charging that before indirectly, particularly before 2008. Because remember, at that time, an individual, if you were to send money from here to your relative in Zimbabwe, they were supposed to take it to the bank, not to get Nekiri and get in Zimbabwe dollars. And you get it exchanged at the official exchange rate, which on the black market is totally different. So, in other words, your family is forced to take Zimbabwe dollars at the official exchange rate, which is totally unfavorable. And then the government itself or the ruling elite were the ones who were benefiting, because they could go then to the Reserve Bank and get foreign currency, and they could trade them on the black market and at the black market rate and make incredible profits from it. So this system has been there, and the corruption has been going on. Particularly if they introduced the Zim bond, you could send your mom in British pounds, but you'll be told officially you're supposed to send it through bank, the banking system, and then at the bank they will turn around and say, well, the official exchange rate is 1:1. So you send $100, she will get 100 bond notes. And those bond notes, when she tries to buy things with them, she finds the exchange rate, because people don't want them, is 2:1. So she has already been shortchanged there.
Okay, right. Thank you, Mkoma Wilbert.
Before usapasa tipapinda mwe ndada kuti ndichikuconnectira this thing kune zvazvitaurwa naTichi.
Okay.
You see, taxing these people, taxing my diasporans without giving them a political say, chizi chinhu chinoitwa nehurumende yevanhu, chinhu chinoitwa nejunda. Because the reason why the government is got legitimacy to tax is because it allows the people, the text, to direct it on how it rules. Saka kana vakangomuka vachiti tawisa tax, that tax is illegitimate and it's wrong. It will never be accepted by the people because the people didn't ask for it. So at the end of the day, this particular regime is crumbling and it's desperate. But don't rule out that because it's crumbling and it's desperate, it cannot do that. It will do that. And everybody will be paid. So when Tichi is saying these things in his own way, understand it to the layman person. Kuti Tichi Arikuti Chinamasa was not creating a new budget. Chinamasa was trying to find money as a chief executive way finance government. Says later my financial controllers in my private companies kuti vanonototsvaga kunokokuwana mari investors kuti operations aramba achida mberi. And Chinamasa is now saying, I have found mukana wokutora mari, which is the diaspora. Kuti ndite prop up budget. So he is not proposing something that within his mandate. It's within his mandate to find the money to run government operations. And he is saying, I'm proposing that I get money from the diaspora so that I run the government. And the government is going to approve that.
And these are the people that the president came out at once upon a time saying that zvinonyika mukaitiza muchienda ikuku kundogezeswa chembere musana and all that kind of nonsense. Anyway, I'm just intrigued with all this. Mkoma Tichi, is this workable? Is this workable? You know.
The way that these things would work, obviously, the logistics of it would have to be worked out. You also will have to have a situation where Mkoma Wilbert ably alluded to, that prior to dollarization, money would have to go through Treasury for it to be exchanged to Zimbabwe dollars via the Exchange Control Authority. At this particular moment in time, the Exchange Control Authority has really no business other than to facilitate international transactions or to approve international transactions by Exchange Control Authority agents, which are the commercial banks. So what you have right now is it's outside Treasury. The transactions that we do are actually outside Treasury. They are going through my Beroti change or my money transfer enterprises. So they'll have to pass a piece of legislation logistically to be able to compare these particular agents, Beroti changes and money transfer, people like MoneyGram and Western Union, to then take that 10% and remit it to Treasury. So they'd have to have a means legally to allow them, to compel them, and then issue that statutory instrument that forces them to take that 10% and remit it to Treasury. So at this particular moment in time, if it is approved, either the presidential short-term law can just be passed while Parliament goes through the motions of bill reading and presentation, etc. So it can be done, and don't put it past this government because it's been mulling it for quite a while. So I wouldn't be surprised if that legislation is brought in very, very quickly, or a presidential decree is issued pending legislation.
Okay. Thank you so much, Komatich, on that. Wapeve, what have you got to say on this?
Yes. When I heard it, I said, well, it sounds good to be true. But here we are. This is ZANU-PF for you. They are so desperate. And they are capable of doing anything. I then went further to investigate how are they going to enforce it. And I actually came across a draft proposal in which they intend to say those within SADC regions, they pay $20 every month. The rest of Africa, $50 every month. Out of Africa, $100 every month. And they also gave reason to say it is possible, and given that the diasporans bring in average of $2 billion a year in Zimbabwe, it's the economy. So Zimbabweans, over 4 million of them, they should be able to pay those figures. And they have already budgeted that they are budgeting for an inflow of 400 million every month coming from the diaspora taxes. Now, the next question is, how is this enforceable? They were saying that those who gets into arrears for a period of more than 3 months, they can actually start attaching your property, if you've got any property in Zimbabwe, to recover the taxes. I looked at the document. There are also some quotations from deputy ministers, from authoritative people within the government, and it's quite a serious document, and I have no reason to believe that it is not authentic. But if you look at it the other way, I don't think this one is going to be enforceable, but ZANU-PF can do anything. Okay? One thing that they can do to enforce it is each time you go to Zimbabwe, and if you are a Zimbabwean, at the airport, they can then collect their taxes for every visit you make. Okay? So that's one other thing.
What if you have got a British passport or an American passport for that matter?
Well, they might put certain clauses, in which case whether you have attained...
Wapebeka, they cannot have their cake and eat it. When you fly there with an American passport, they want to charge you a visa. So they must not charge you taxes if they want a visa as well, knowing that fully you are actually Zimbabwean.
Yeah, but ZANU-PF is capable of doing anything. And I see that coming in. Any loophole, any avenue whereby you'll be in the country at an entry point, they will be able to collect their taxes.
Just a quick intervention in Mkoma what Mkoma Sodza is saying. Imimi mgenda kumwisha ni British passport or whatever other passport, assuming you've acquired citizenship of a foreign nation. They've got two ways of either getting you to pay tax as a dual citizen because the Constitution allows it.
Okay.
Or because the visa you are paying is only because you are using that foreign passport. It doesn't change the fact that you are still a Zimbabwean. So they can still tax you as a dual citizen. Or if you don't want to pay the taxes, they can compel you then to renounce your Zimbabwe citizenship because you don't want to pay taxes as a citizen.
Right.
So from a legal perspective, they can still win it and do it. But the point is, as Tekuru said, this kind of taxation must come with the full constitutional rights, including voting, etc., etc. And so they can't give with one hand and take with the other hand. So if they want to open that avenue up, we are happy to listen to them. But they have to open it up all the way. They can't open it just to suit themselves. That's all I wanted to say. Sorry, Prophet.
No, that's fine. One way of also collecting the taxes, they can actually use the anyway. They are introducing the bond notes end of October. So when you send money, be it in US dollars, they know that you are actually sending it from abroad. So they will, and then whoever you are sending to in Zimbabwe will be, they will levy that amount. They can put a tax to that. So that's